I'm sorry, but look at this. You see this? This is my apartment that I pay for completely by myself. There's no man in my life. There's no financial support from family. I picked out all these designs. I paid for my decor. I got this place together. And 4 years ago, I was 24 living at home, living in the environment that broke me. And you want to know how I got here right now? Through the career that I was told would not work out for me, that was unrealistic. And that's no shade to the people who told me that, because I get it. Some people can't see the vision until it is right in front of them, but I always knew. I always knew I would get here. And now it's here. It's here. Oh, I have an espresso machine. An espresso machine, okay? And I live a nice lifestyle with a lot of great friends and a lot of amazing people. So take a moment to sniff the flowers, because I guarantee there are things that you have now that you 5 years ago would have dreamed of. We all have things we're working toward. We all have goals we want to accomplish. But look where you are now. Could you have imagined the place you are now a few years ago? Because I know I couldn't.
I've been really sentimental this week. Like I told y'all, I just turned 26 and I was thinking about how far I've come in my journey of life and about what I've achieved and overcome over the course of my life. Of course, this isn't the end of my journey and I'm not where I want to be ultimately, but I have to recognize that in my eyes, I am the person I wanted to be when I was a little girl, and that is success to me. I still have some things I need to work on, but it was a long, hard battle to get here. It's only the beginning, again, but that's something I will celebrate. Let's talk about doubt. I was basically the Meg Griffin of my family. From the beginning, it felt as though my family had no faith in me. They knew I was very, very book smart, but I wasn't, I guess, street smart, so to speak. I was naive. I was a child. I took everything at face value. And because of my shyness and my aversion for social situations, they thought I wouldn't be able to fend for myself in any capacity. But still, didn't attempt to give me the lessons or the tools so I can try to get there. And as I got older and older, it was basically this mental prison that I was in till I was like in my 20s. They would make snide remarks like, oh, you're going to move out when you're 30, probably not even then, but purposely put me in positions to where I was codependent on them. They would dangle things over my head, like survival things. Like, for example, I always got threats of getting kicked out on the street. Ever since I was a little kid, it was, you need to leave, get out, I'm going to kick you out. And the thought of that terrorized me for so long. And like I said last episode, home never really felt like home. My family wouldn't allow me to have a social life outside of work and school, but then turn around and tell me how I have no friends. They believed that because I was quiet, moving in silence like the G in lasagna, that I had no drive, no dreams, or like ambitions. But I wasn't allowed to have dreams. I wasn't allowed to have personal freedom. I wasn't allowed to have a shred of independence because that was considered me not staying in a child's place. They didn't really scrutinize my younger siblings who were more outgoing and bubbly as hard as they did me, because I just felt like they were the kids that they actually wanted, that actually fit in to the regular, I guess, societal dynamic of what a person, quote unquote, should be. They wanted to send me off to the military so bad, and bitch, fuck no. I was an ROTC bitch, and that was enough for me because you're not about to be yelling at me and shit in boot camp and drop and give you 20, Commander Clit Rider. That's not going to happen. Fast forward to 2023. I was 24. Things fell into place for me. I moved out, and my big thought was, why didn't I do this sooner? The world isn't as scary as I was told it was going to be. I'm glad I waited and built my savings though, and I was in a secure position to leave. But younger people, if you are in a position to stay at home, and especially you and your parents get along, that is so rare, stay your ass home and stack your money, please. I see snide ass Facebook posts all the time saying you're not grown till you pay your bills and have your own car and your own place. And those people are just jealous that they don't have support and need to make themselves feel better. Don't feel belittled when people say shit like that to you, because people used to say shit like that to me. But guess what? Those same people didn't have a family that cared enough to keep them around once they turned 18. And I bet you those same people would run to their parents' house if they gave a damn enough to allow it. When I was 18, I was seeing a guy who was a waiter and had to work to put himself through community college. And it's like that sometimes. But this person was so jealous of me living at home, despite what I was going through at home, just really tried to put me down about living at home. But he had been on his own since he was 16 because he had no parents. Well, one of his parents passed, the other one was an addict. His grandparents really didn't care for him either, so he had no choice but to go on his own at 16. Struggling is not a badge of honor, ladies, gents, everybody in beyond and in between. Don't put yourself in a fucked up position that you didn't have to be in just to say you did it. I am of the belief that life should be as stress free as possible, and it's really, really real out here. There's no safety nets, there's no nothing. Meanwhile, this person I was seeing was renting a single tiny bedroom, smaller than my childhood bedroom, was driving a beat up truck that was on its last leg and could barely make it from semester to semester. And you want me to believe that you have a leg up on me? I wish I didn't feel so bad about myself in the past because I was just 18. I just graduated high school. I was working at Chick-fil-A at that point for maybe 2 years. And I thought I was doing everything so wrong because everyone around me told me I was doing life wrong. And if you were a less fortunate kid graduating high school and a 4 year university isn't a viable option, it can be so scary. You're like, what do I do? Where do I go from here? Nobody supported me emotionally. There was no tenderness, no love and care. I had to depend on myself and dig deep and make the most of what I did have. You in the woods and you take some sticks and a rock to make a fire. That's what it felt like. I was naked and afraid, bitch. It was the loneliest time in my life. I was horribly depressed. Nobody gave a damn about me working at Chick fil A, except for my three friends that I made during my time there. I loved and appreciated them so much. I was the hardest worker there, and surprise, surprise, received the least reward. I would ask for help, and nobody cared. Nobody. They would pretend to care, but nobody cared for real. I was a manager there towards the end of my time there. So nobody ever wanted to work weekends, and they would put me on the weekend shift every weekend, closing shift Friday and Saturday. And it just got to be too much for me. I will deal with things, and if I really ask for help, I mean it. I really need help. And one day I finally texted the scheduling manager and I said, "Hey, can we get an extra manager on Friday and Saturday nights because I cannot handle it?" You know what that bitch did? She read my message and turned her read receipts off. Bless the truth. And that was the moment I was like, okay, bet. That's a big fucking bet. That is when the moment I emotionally checked out and stopped doing the most. The more correct term would be higher ups. This was the higher ups I was talking to. And one of the other higher ups just noticed me looking depressed and withdrawn at work. And they were like, "Are you okay? You know, you don't seem like yourself." And I was like, "It's fine. It's fine." Knowing damn well I'm planning my escape out of this bitch. But at the time, I stayed because I had to graduate trade school, and this was the job that paid me the most. Child, I would cry every day in my car before my shift, before I got up and walked in there. It really makes me sad thinking about it now because what the fuck? A young woman or anybody shouldn't ever have to feel that way. If any of y'all listening are a parent, if nothing else besides, food, clothing, shelter, and stability, for the love of God, support your children, especially through the hard times and the life transitions. That means so much more than what you think it will. All I had was some music. I had 3 albums in rotation: Sweetener by Ariana Grande, Queen by Nicki Minaj, and Control by SZA. I used to turn on 20 something by SZA and just cry, bitch. Miss 20 something. Ain't got nothing. Ready for love. Only no fear. It was hard. But such is life, right? I had to rely on myself. I wish I could tell y'all I had this deep fire, this unwavering determination to get myself out of this stage and into the next stage of life. I didn't. I really didn't. Because the way I saw it, it was either move forward or die. And dying was not an option. Through tears and all, I kept dragging myself forward. I kept clocking in. I kept going to school. I just kept taking hit after hit. And I knew at the very least, I had my intellect. I taught myself my financial literacy. I saved half of my paycheck every pay period. After about maybe a year and a half or so, I graduated trade school. And once I got a job through a connection I had, I submitted my 2 weeks notice at Chick-fil-A expeditiously and did not look back. And then after 4 years at that other job that eventually turned toxic, like they all do, I ended up leaving that one and moving away for a new one. And my family was so shocked and so surprised by how well I'm doing on my own. And I love all my siblings so much. It's so unfortunate that we had to be pitted against each other in such a way. And of course, I hope we all succeed in our own individual realms that we're pursuing. But I can say now that I, the black sheep, became the underdog. And what I will say to y'all is keep hope alive. I knew I wanted more for myself back then, and I couldn't let it end here for me. And I'm glad I didn't allow doubt, emotional and mental abuse keep me down. And as I'm sitting here now in my cozy 1 bedroom apartment that I just made some delicious broccoli cheddar soup in, so good, finally feeling successful and free. What I want to hear from y'all in the comments is if you resonated with anything that I've said today. Are you going through a similar situation? Have you overcome a similar situation? Have you ever been put in a position where you were doubted heavily and you somehow rised above and rose to the occasion, etc., etc.? Be very vividly vocal in the comments. By the way, y'all, this is our 50th episode of Vividly Vocal. Oh my goodness. Thank y'all so much for listening, liking, subscribing, following the podcast, available on all podcast platforms. And I can't wait. We're taking it all the way to 75, 100 episodes, 150, 200 episodes, 1,000 episodes of Vividly Vocal forever and beyond till the end of time. So, y'all, we're technically in season 2, but I'm thinking about ending season 2 right here and then coming right back and starting season 3. Season 1 was like 24 episodes. Season 2 right now is like 26, I guess. And yeah, I'm thinking about just cutting it right here, but I'm really not sure. I'll have to think about it though. Once again, no face video or video podcast, unfortunately, because I'm here in Houston getting ready for the winter storm. I think I'm going to go back to my hometown. So I just wanted to share something really quick and hopefully we can get back to the whole operation once things calm down. I hope you all are well as always. Like I said, y'all, I don't know. I've been really emotional and sentimental this week, more than usual. Like last night on Twitter, this older man, this older gentleman, he was celebrating his birthday at McDonald's by himself, eating his quarter pounder and whatnot. And I just started crying because I was like, how beautiful. Oh my goodness, he's so grateful just to live. And he posted himself on Twitter saying, I'm celebrating my birthday at McDonald's out to eat by myself. And I just started crying. I don't know why. I've just been really sentimental, just looking around and at human life and things of that nature. And I don't know what it is about me. I guess it is since it's technically my solar return that I'm so reflective and introspective right now, but I've just been so emotional lately. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. And if you would like to take Vividly Vocal on the go with you, Vividly Vocal is available on all podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so many more. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye, you guys.